Marta, let's go ahead and let's get started. And then, you know, if people pop in, then they pop in. And if they have questions, then they can post them in the group chat. I do have the group chat up. You can hit up Marta if you've got anything. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty. Marta's on the phone with me. That's why I'm on the good old iPhone here. So just a little bit about myself. My name's Paula. I am a paranormal investigator. I live right outside Washington, D.C. I've known Marta for how many years now, Marta? Quite a few, about 8 years now. Wow, time flies. And I say known because Marta's like my spiritual soul sister. We've never met in person, but we've met in spirit, let me put it that way. And a lot of what questions that Marta gets is not only about, Marta can speak to spirit, and a lot of folks ask her about what feelings and what she picks up on with regard to spirit, but she does not do the quote-unquote paranormal investigation. So that's where she contacts me and our other friend, who is also a psychic, Alex. Alex and I are ghost hunting partners. We run a group called the Dark Hollow Ghost Stalkers. We actually have done investigations in concert with Catholic Church. So we have a pretty good background in paranormal investigations. A lot of people like to post pictures where they get spirit orbs, where there are things that shadows that cannot be explained. And the job of a paranormal investigator, first and foremost, you don't walk in assuming that something is of a paranormal nature. What we do first is to try and debunk everything and to find some kind of plausible answer for what could be causing whatever event, something in a picture, something in a video, what could have caused a sound. So my job at first is not to automatically assume that anything is paranormal, that it's spirit, that it's demonic, or anything else. And yes, I do know the difference between spirit and demonic, and we'll probably get into that in a later subject matter for another day. But the pictures that a lot of people take, I hate it because my job is to first debunk. Everyone wants to believe, especially if you're wanting for validation that you've caught a loved one's spirit or something, that their spirit is there. So if you ever post a picture and you think that you've caught an orb of a loved one or something like that around you, and I can come up with a plausible reason for it, that doesn't mean that your loved one is not with you there in spirit. If you feel that they're there with you in spirit, then they're there with you in spirit 99% of the time, okay? Paranormal investigators like to first look at the environment around, and that means anything that could, quote unquote, contaminate what's going on. So that is, where are your HVAC? Do you have forced air? Are there animals in the house kicking up, you know, dust and pet dander? I know that my 3 fur babies are the biggest generators of dust bunnies known to man. Is there a light coming from a source that could be reflected off of something? Could it be dust? A simple thing is dust on your camera lens on the inside of the camera. So I know that several pictures have been posted in the group. And so we kind of wanted to address some of the pictures. And Marta, if you kind of like just give me a little bit of, you know, direction here, which one you want to start with first, then I can, you know, start addressing them with the group. And guys, bear with me. I'm listening for marching orders from the commander here on the phone. Boy, this video is really lagging. Yes, I can hear you on the phone. Let's see, there's Tasha Thompson's photo. That's Tasha Thompson. Right. Okay. Okay. The first set of pictures that Marta wanted me to address are the ones posted by Tasha Thompson on December 12th. And they're pictures of her daughter. And first and foremost, we're not doctors. We do not diagnose. I don't pretend to have a medical degree, nor does Marta. But don't automatically go to the paranormal for something that isn't immediately diagnosed by a doctor, or you couldn't quite figure out, that you couldn't put your finger on. Be very diligent in trying to get to the bottom of a condition from a medical perspective. Usually anything involving spirit will involve like fingerprints, sometimes scratches, or some things that kind of like maybe look like burns. But first and foremost, you want to rule out anything that could be possibly wrong from a medical perspective before you make the jump to anything that could be paranormal or demonic or anything like that. So, you know, Marta does not, I do not, we're not doctors. We don't diagnose. We're not going to pretend to diagnose anybody, but we can kind of, you know, give you a little direction what we would do from a personal perspective, but we're not going to diagnose somebody. Especially, you know, involving children, please be, you know, diligent about and being, you know, really firm with a doctor to try and figure out what's going on. So that's first and foremost. Okay, guys? Do I have any questions here from the group? And that you can put them in the group chat. Okay, the next set of pictures we're going to look at is Rachel Delaney. These pictures, there are two pictures there, and they, appear to be orbs. One is just, in a room, and the other, are orbs around children. Again, like I said earlier, I personally, these appear to be dust orbs to me. And what can cause that is, like I said, my fur babies, kick up a tremendous amount of dust. Your HVAC system, unless you're diligent about changing filters, everything, just your, air coming on, forced air coming on can blow dust across. You walking across a floor, walking across carpet, everything kicks up dust. I kind of liken it to like Pigpen from, the Peanuts from, because that's exactly the way I am. I'm just a, disaster following behind me. So, it is very hard when you're doing pictures like this, to not have what we call, and I don't mean this in a mean way, contaminants. In other words, people, circumstances, pets, things like that, contaminating the evidence or what you're looking at. And like I said, it can be as simple as your forced air coming on, blowing dust up out of the vents. True paranormal orbs almost appear to generate their own light source from within. And that's like the biggest designator that I can kind of tell you that's the difference between light refracting off dust particles and having an honest to God, entity or orb that seems to almost glow from within and generate its own light from within. So that's the biggest thing. Whenever you try and take a look at photos with a critical eye, you look for plausible explanations for what's going on. And, people moving around, pets moving around, just anything like that, especially if you have, curtains, is it by an HVAC vent, things like that. That could be, is it carpeted area, pets, everything. And that goes for video too. So the biggest differential, like I said, is paranormal orbs almost seem to be lit from within, where dust is like light refracting back off of it. And these really appear to be dust particles flying through the air. And it's really hard to tell from still photos because you don't have a reference before and after. So you can't really tell. This is, one split second in time, whereas like if it's a video, you can kind of track and see the movement. You can see what else is going on. So it's really hard in still photos because you don't have a lot of context. And I know people get a little frustrated with me because I ask 15,000 questions on a lot of these pictures. Like, is this going on? Is this going on? Is this going on? Is this going on? And I know people get frustrated with me, but that's why I need some context to figure out what's in the environment that could possibly contaminate. And I use that word, with quotes, not in a derogatory sense, but contaminate the evidence or contaminate the photo. So that's the best that I can really say. Those really look like dust particles flying through the air to me. Do you guys have any questions on this set of pictures? And I'm sorry, I'm just kind of waiting for the lag. This video lags behind what's happening in my ear and what's coming across on the screen for you guys. That's okay. Let's see. Oh, is that the one with the thumb in, oh, the thumb in the picture? Is that the one? Yeah, that's the one that she blew up bigger. Okay. Let's see. I was trying to find the one where she blew it up bigger. That's it. It's in the thread of the original. Hold on a second. Let me pull this one up. Okay, Rhonda Adams's picture is the one where she's holding a picture in her hand and she took a picture of a photo. And this made it rather difficult to take a really close look at this picture. One, because there's a light source behind her that's like above and down, kind of refracting off the bottom right-hand corner of the picture. Her thumb's kind of bending the picture. But over there on the right-hand side, you can kind of see something. She thinks that it looked like, you know, like an edge of a coffin. And then over to the left, you see like a shadow kind of thing. And this was caught, I believe, by a security camera while they were gone. And you'll notice that I literally asked like 15,000 questions in here. Like, you know, is there an HVAC vent? Because with the curtains being right there, if the forced air comes on, it can blow the curtain and make a motion activated security camera activate. The lighting sources with security cameras, you know, they're usually infrared, or they shoot black and white, one of the two. And so it makes it a little bit difficult not knowing where the actual light sources are in the home and not the light source that is reflecting behind her and down onto the photograph that she's holding. It makes it extremely difficult to make any kind of determination with taking a picture of a picture versus like maybe scanning it or having the original downloaded file from the motion sensor camera sent, because then that makes it a lot easier to determine what exactly is going on, whether you're seeing light refracted off of something, whether you're seeing you know, pixelation from a camera. And just to tell you, this is a funny story. This is a Paula and Alex, honest to God, ghost hunting story involving infrared cameras. We were doing a paranormal investigation on a dojo in Front Royal, Virginia. And there were just 4 of us there. And we were, Alex was shooting video, and he had it pointed toward me. And he's like, oh my God, you've got 2 really big orbs right above your head. And I'm like, really? I don't really feel anything up above me. And he's like, I'm telling you, they're showing up right here. And then all of a sudden he cusses, and I'm not going to say what he actually said because I'm trying to keep this rather PG. What had happened is that, your seasoned investigators, I had taken my dark blue sweatshirt off and had a white shirt on underneath that because we had no heat in the dojo. We had turned it off, and it was, stone cold in the middle of winter. The IR light was reflecting off of my breasts and up, and the 2 orbs were actually my boobs reflecting the light up above my head. So it is so hard with IR lights, security cameras, and things like that, reflecting lights off of, especially infrared lights, off of soft surfaces, light colors, and things like that, and giving you false shadows, false orbs or boobs, whatever you call. And so it's really hard without having the original picture to actually sit down, blow it up, put it into one of my photo editing software where I can really get in and see what's in there. It's really hard to do that without the original file from the camera. True story, Marta. True story. I hear you laughing. Oh, it's terrible. There is such a lag, guys. I'm sorry. I'm listening to Marta. Yeah. Regina would be the last one. That's like 30 seconds behind. Okay. I just got from the commander, and I know you guys that are watching are now laughing about my boobs reflecting off the ceiling. True ghost hunting story, man. It was like one of Alex and Paula's finest moments. The last picture that we have is from Regina Marie Birchfield. And this was a picture taken from her backyard, and it's like this white mist. And you know what? I cannot come up with anything to debunk this at all. I think that they may have actually caught spirit. This doesn't happen very often. The only thing that would have been perfect in a perfect world would have been, to have successive pictures, like when we do paranormal investigations and we take still shots, we'll take 3 or 4 pictures of the same place in succession, so that if anything manifests or an orb is there, then you can see it following, through successive pictures. So the only thing that would have, made this completely, I can say that's paranormal, would have been to have a picture in front of, or a picture after, or video to corroborate it. But I really cannot come up with anything to debunk this. I mean, it's obviously not like ground cover fog. It's not mist. It doesn't look like it's light refracting off of ground cover fog or mist. You can clearly see it's like a human outline or form, and you can see the grass at the bottom through the form. I'm not seeing where there is like any light source from behind that would quote unquote contaminate anything. I can't debunk this one at all. And she may have actually caught something in the backyard. And then the next set of questions that I would be asking is, have you had anything in the house, outside, you know, pecking on the windows, stuff like that going on that would kind of lead you to believe that there's spirit or something else going on in the area? But I cannot debunk this photograph like this. So that was the last picture that we had that the group submitted. Like I said, when you are looking, I know that everybody wants to confirm that your loved ones are near. Well, guess what? They are. They're with you. If you feel that they're with you, then they're with you. They are with you. You know, if they're not exactly with you in spirit all the time, they're in your heart and in your mind, and they are with you in spirit from time to time. And you know it. You don't need a picture to validate that. You know in your heart when your loved ones are with you. You don't need me to tell you that your loved ones are with you. Conversely, if you don't try to find a plausible explanation before you make that jump to Ghostbusters. Did you have something to say, Marta? Okay. Okay. I can't debunk that photo at all. I cannot debunk it. You know, there was an investigation where Alex and I were on, and all of a sudden I had a feeling, and I was like, Alex, do you have your camera on you? He's like, yeah, it's in my pocket. I said, shoot it over my left shoulder. And he did. And we got something very similar to this in my niece's backyard at her old house in Powhatan, Virginia. And it was spirit. It flat out was spirit. So, you know, if you heard your sister calling your name and took that picture, chances are your sister wanted to get your attention, because I can't debunk this. I honestly think you got to pick a picture of spirit. Yeah. Okay, guys, since that is the last of the pictures, I'm going to wrap this up. My honey bear is going to be getting home here soon. Thanks for stopping in. And I think what I'm going to, every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be doing one of these. And I think what I'm going to do is do a poll in the group to find out what kind of like big subject areas you'd like for Marta and I to kind of tackle in these little chats. So be on the lookout in the next day or so. for a poll, and then Marta and I will have a better idea of what you guys would like to know more about, everything spiritual, spirit, and paranormal. Okay, so good night, everybody. Thanks for stopping in, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.